When I was a kid growing up in East LA, I had one dream, and that was to become a scientist. When I pursued that dream, I pursued it single-mindedly. I mean, I loved science more than anything and anyone. And it wasn't until I got to Cornell that I realized I was lost. I cared about it more than myself even. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, I didn't date, didn't have a whole lot of friends. I was lost. But I had my science. And then a funny thing happened. As I studied how the universe works, I began to realize something. It began when I started realizing that if you look at the universe with just your unaided eye, it's beautiful. I mean, you look at these flowers, this rose, for example. You don't have to be a scientist to see it. It's beautiful. But as a scientist, I began to see the universe through telescopes and through microscopes that enhanced the power of my eye, that enhanced the power of my mind. And I began to discover that the beauty of the universe is more than skin deep. Hey, I mean, you could say the beauty you can see with the unaided eye, maybe that was an accident. Maybe you could rationalize that somehow. I think you'd have a hard time doing it, but just for the sake of discussion, say, yeah, these roses are an accident. But how do you explain the deepness of the beauty of the universe? When you look through a microscope, you see that beauty carry on to all levels, down to the quark, down to the gluons of the atom. And you look at a telescope and you see that the beauty extends to other planets, to other solar systems, to other galaxies, to clusters of galaxies, to the beginning of the universe. It's all beautiful. There's a beauty there. It's all an accident. Really. All of it. Every bit of it. Just an accident. Really. It started working on me. And then something else happened. I started learning about all kinds of weird things like black holes and tachyons, particles that travel faster than the speed of light. I learned all kinds of weird things. And I was being asked to believe in them, even though we couldn't see these things. You can't see a parallel universe. You can't see a black hole. But I was being asked by science, my beloved science, to believe in all that. And I did. Even though I could never see it, never hoped to see it. And then there was a third thing. It was kind of like the final straw for me. Science taught me that there is a single truth. If I and a friend fall from the Empire State Building, he doesn't fall at a different rate than I do. He and I both are obligated to fall according to the one law of gravity, Newton's universal law of gravity. There's one truth. It's become so popular today to say, well, your truth may not be my truth, but it's okay. No, science doesn't teach that. It was teaching me, my beloved science was teaching me that there is a single truth and that we're all obligated to know that truth. And the result of those three things, the fact that the beauty of the universe is more than skin deep, the fact that science expanded my mind to believe in things that were even more far out than God, the fact that science taught me that there is a single truth, opened my eyes to God. He's a loving God, and He went after me. And He used the very thing that I love, the very thing that caused me to turn my back on Him. He used that very beloved science of mine to find me, to carry me on His shoulders. And then the Bible says in Luke, the rejoicing that goes on, the rejoicing in heaven when that one lost sheep is found. I was that lost sheep. If you find in life that you love something a little too much, more than God, that's a sign you're lost too, the way I was. That's the bad news. The good news is God's not going to give up on you, ever. He's not. He will track you down. And if you will let Him, He will find you, He will carry on His shoulders, and He will rejoice to the angels that He has found you. And it will change your life the way it did mine, for the better.